Alright folks, strap in for the Twilight saga, Breaking Dawn, where things go from teenage drama to full-blown supernatural soap opera faster than you can say sparkly vampire. This one's got everything: weddings, werewolves, weird vampire pregnancies, because why not? It's Twilight, after all. So, we kick things off with Bella Swan and Edward Cullen finally tying the knot. That's right, after all the moping, brooding, and indecisiveness, Bella finally says, "Alright, fine, I'll marry the undead guy." And let's talk about this wedding, because it's not just any wedding. It's like they took a page out of a Martha Stewart magazine, cranked it up to 11, and then sprinkled some vampire chic on top. There are flowers everywhere, the whole thing's set in the woods, and everyone's dressed to the nines. It's like Twilight meets Vogue. But of course, this isn't your typical wedding. It's got an undercurrent of weirdness, because, let's not forget, half the guest list is made up of vampires who are trying really hard not to eat the other half. And then there's Jacob Black, the werewolf with a chip on his shoulder the size of a redwood, who shows up just in time to remind Bella that, yeah, he's still in love with her. Nothing like a little unrequited love to spice up a wedding reception, right? So, Bella and Edward head off to their honeymoon on a private island. A private island, folks. Because when you're a vampire who's been alive for over 100 years, you can afford to treat your new bride to a vacation that would make James Bond jealous. And here's where things get interesting. Bella, being the naive human she is, wants to have a normal honeymoon. But Edward, ever the buzzkill, is worried he'll accidentally crush her like a soda during their, intimate moments. But, against all odds, and a lot of broken furniture, they manage to consummate the marriage. Then comes the twist that nobody saw coming. Bella gets pregnant. And not just any pregnancy. Nope, this is a vampire-human hybrid baby, which apparently grows at the speed of a bad plot twist. Within days, Bella's got a baby bump, and within weeks, she's looking like she's ready to pop. Edward, who's usually as cool as a cucumber, starts freaking out, because this isn't just any pregnancy, it's one that's literally killing Bella from the inside out. And you thought your family had issues. Back and forth, Jacob finds out about the pregnancy and loses his mind. He's furious, and not just because Bella chose Edward over him, but because this pregnancy is so dangerous it could kill her. He storms off, does some brooding of his own, and eventually decides to break away from his werewolf pack because they want to kill the baby. That's right, Jacob's going rogue, folks. He's the lone wolf now. Meanwhile, Bella's condition worsens. She's getting weaker by the day, and the baby's not exactly taking it easy on her. But Bella, stubborn as ever, refuses to give up. She's determined to bring this baby into the world, even if it means sacrificing herself. And Edward, who's usually the one making terrible decisions, is now just along for the ride, doing everything he can to save her. Finally, the big moment arrives. Bella goes into labor, and it's about as pleasant as you'd expect from a supernatural pregnancy. The baby, who they name Renesmee, because apparently normal names just aren't an option, is born, but Bella's not looking too good. In fact, she's pretty much dead. So what does Edward do? He bites her. All over. Because, you know, Turning her into a vampire is the only way to save her. It's like vampire CPR, except with more teeth and less mouth-to-mouth. While all this is happening, Jacob, who's been sulking in the corner, sees the baby and, wait for it, imprints on her. That's right, folks, he falls in love with a newborn baby. But don't worry, it's not creepy, because in werewolf logic, imprinting just means he's going to be her protector or some nonsense like that. It's like saying, I'm not dating your daughter, I'm just reserving her for later. Totally normal, right? So Bella survives the ordeal, wakes up as a vampire, and boom. She's stronger, faster, and more badass than ever. But just when you think things are settling down, the Volturi, the vampire mafia from Italy, get wind of Renesmee and think she's an immortal child, which is a big no-no in vampire world. So now, the Cullens are gearing up for a showdown with the Volturi, because nothing says family bonding like a good old supernatural battle to the death. And that's where first part of Breaking Dawn leaves us. A vampire baby, a werewolf with a questionable love interest, and a looming vampire war.